while you're sleeping. Most people focus on workouts and protein, but they completely ignore what their body needs at night to repair, relax, and rebuild muscle tissue. If you're dealing with muscle tightness, slow recovery, cramps, or weakness, the problem may not be exercise, it may be specific vitamin deficiencies. Today, I want to show you 4 powerful vitamins to take before bed that support muscle recovery, strength, and relaxation, plus one final closing point you must not ignore. Vitamin D plays a far more powerful role in muscle health than most people realize, and overlooking it is one of the biggest hidden reasons people struggle with weakness, slow recovery, and poor physical performance. This nutrient functions more like a hormone than a typical vitamin, meaning it sends signals that directly influence how your muscles contract, repair, and maintain strength. Every muscle cell in your body has vitamin D receptors, and when those receptors are not activated properly, muscle fibers simply do not perform at their best. This is why individuals with low vitamin D often feel unexplained fatigue, heaviness in the legs, or reduced strength even if they are exercising regularly. The muscle isn't lazy. It's undersignaled. One of vitamin D's most critical roles is its control over calcium movement inside muscle cells. Calcium is required for muscle contraction, but it must move in and out of the cell with precision. Vitamin D ensures this process happens smoothly. Without adequate vitamin D, calcium signaling becomes inefficient, leading to weaker contractions and slower response times. Over time, this can translate into decreased muscle tone, higher injury risk, and poor athletic output. This is especially important at night when the body shifts from movement to repair. Supporting vitamin D levels allows muscles to reset their calcium balance while you sleep, preparing them for strength and coordination the next day. Another overlooked benefit of vitamin D is its impact on muscle fiber composition. Research shows that vitamin D supports fast, twitch muscle fibers, which are responsible for power, balance, and quick movements. These fibers are also the first to decline with age, which is why vitamin D deficiency is closely linked to falls and frailty. Ensuring sufficient vitamin D intake supports these fibers, helping maintain muscle resilience and responsiveness. This becomes even more relevant during nighttime recovery when muscle protein synthesis and cellular repair are most active. Vitamin D also plays a role in reducing muscle inflammation. After physical activity, microscopic muscle damage occurs. That's normal and necessary for growth. However, chronic inflammation slows repair and increases soreness. Vitamin D helps regulate inflammatory markers, allowing muscles to recover efficiently rather than remaining stuck in a prolonged state of stress. This means less stiffness in the morning, better range of motion, and a faster return to optimal performance. Many people notice that when vitamin D levels improve, post-workout soreness becomes more manageable without changing their training routine. Sleep quality is another indirect but crucial connection. Vitamin D influences circadian rhythm and melatonin regulation, both of which affect deep sleep. Deep sleep is when growth hormone is released and muscle repair peaks. If vitamin D is low, sleep may become lighter and less restorative, limiting the body's ability to rebuild muscle tissue overnight. Supporting vitamin D status helps align sleep cycles with recovery processes, allowing muscles to take full advantage of nighttime repair. Deficiency is far more common than people think, especially in individuals who spend most of their time indoors, live in urban environments, or use sunscreen consistently. Even those who appear healthy can have suboptimal levels without obvious symptoms until muscle performance begins to decline. Addressing vitamin D intake, particularly earlier in the evening rather than late at night, supports absorption while aligning with the body's natural repair window. When vitamin D is optimized, muscles respond better to training, recover more efficiently, and maintain strength with less effort, turning sleep into a powerful ally for muscle health rather than a missed opportunity. Magnesium is one of the most underestimated nutrients when it comes to muscle health, yet it is involved in more than 300 enzymatic reactions in the body, many of which directly control muscle function and recovery. Muscles are designed to contract and relax in a precise rhythm, and magnesium is the mineral that allows relaxation to occur. Without enough magnesium, muscles remain partially contracted, creating tension, tightness, and an increased risk of cramps or spasms. This is why people with low magnesium often experience restless legs, nighttime muscle twitching, or stiffness that feels worse in the evening rather than better. At the cellular level, magnesium acts as a natural calcium blocker. Calcium stimulates muscle contraction, but magnesium counterbalances it by allowing the muscle fibers to release and return to a relaxed state. When magnesium levels drop, calcium dominates and muscles stay switched on. This constant low-grade contraction drains energy, stresses the nervous system, and interferes with proper recovery. Providing magnesium before sleep helps restore this balance at the exact time when muscles should be shutting down and repairing, not staying tense and alert. Magnesium also plays a critical role in energy production within muscle cells. It is required for the activation of ATP, the molecule that fuels every muscle movement. Without magnesium, ATP cannot be used efficiently, which means muscles fatigue faster and recover more slowly. This explains why magnesium deficiency often shows up as muscle weakness rather than pain alone. Even if oxygen and nutrients are available, the muscle simply cannot access its energy supply effectively. Supporting magnesium levels in the evening allows energy systems to reset overnight, improving endurance and strength the following day. The nervous system connection is equally important. Magnesium calms overactive nerve signaling, reducing excessive firing that leads to muscle tightness and involuntary contractions. Many muscle issues are not caused by the muscle itself, but by irritated nerves sending constant signals to contract. Magnesium helps quiet this communication, allowing muscles to fully disengage. This calming effect becomes especially valuable at night when the nervous system should shift into a parasympathetic, recovery-focused state. When this shift fails to happen, sleep becomes shallow and muscles never fully relax. Sleep quality and muscle recovery are inseparable, and magnesium sits at the center of this relationship. It supports the production of GABA, a neurotransmitter that promotes relaxation and deep sleep. Deep sleep is when growth hormone peaks, driving tissue repair and muscle rebuilding. Low magnesium levels are associated with frequent nighttime awakenings and difficulty staying asleep, which silently sabotages muscle recovery. When magnesium intake is sufficient, sleep becomes deeper, muscles relax more completely, and morning stiffness is noticeably reduced. Modern lifestyles make magnesium deficiency extremely common. Highly processed foods are stripped of magnesium, stress rapidly depletes it, and intense exercise increases demand even further. Sweating alone can significantly reduce magnesium stores. Many people assume muscle cramps are caused by dehydration or lack of potassium, but in reality, magnesium is often the missing factor. Taking magnesium before bed aligns perfectly with the body's natural recovery rhythm, allowing muscles to release tension, restore energy, and repair micro damage efficiently. When magnesium is no longer limiting the system, muscles feel looser, stronger, and more responsive, turning nighttime into a powerful window for restoration rather than continued strain. Vitamin B6 plays a critical yet often overlooked role in muscle health, particularly in how the body repairs, rebuilds, and maintains muscle tissue during rest. This vitamin is deeply involved in protein metabolism, meaning it helps convert the protein you consume into usable building blocks for muscle repair. Without sufficient vitamin B6, even a high-protein diet can fall short because amino acids are not efficiently processed or delivered to muscle cells. The result is slower recovery, lingering soreness, and a feeling that muscles are not responding to training the way they should. Inside the muscle cell, vitamin B6 functions as a coenzyme in amino acid metabolism, allowing proteins to be broken down, rearranged, and reassembled where they are needed most. This process becomes especially important at night when the body shifts into tissue repair mode. During sleep, muscle protein synthesis increases, and vitamin B6 ensures that this process runs smoothly. When levels are low, the repair process becomes inefficient, leading to incomplete recovery and gradual muscle breakdown rather than regeneration. Vitamin B6 also plays a key role in glycogen utilization within muscles. Glycogen is the stored form of glucose that muscles rely on for energy during activity. Vitamin B6 helps release glucose from glycogen, ensuring muscles have access to energy when needed. Poor glycogen metabolism contributes to early fatigue and reduced strength output. Supporting vitamin B6 status allows muscles to restore and manage glycogen stores more effectively overnight, setting the stage for better endurance and performance the next day. Another crucial function of vitamin B6 lies in its impact on neurotransmitter production. It is required for the synthesis of serotonin, dopamine, and GABA, chemical messengers that regulate mood, stress, and relaxation. Excessive stress hormones and an overactive nervous system interfere with muscle recovery by keeping muscles in a state of readiness rather than repair. Vitamin B6 helps calm this system, reducing unnecessary muscle tension and allowing the body to transition into a recovery dominant state. This creates an internal environment where muscles can heal rather than remain guarded. Vitamin B6 also supports oxygen delivery to muscle tissue through its role in hemoglobin production. Efficient oxygen transport is essential for muscle repair and nutrient delivery. When oxygen availability is compromised, muscles struggle to clear metabolic waste and rebuild damaged fibers. Adequate vitamin B6 helps maintain healthy red blood cell function, ensuring muscles receive the oxygen they need during recovery periods. This contributes to reduced soreness and improved tissue resilience over time. Deficiency in vitamin B6 is more common than many people realize, especially in individuals consuming highly processed foods, those under chronic stress, or people who train intensely. Certain medications can also reduce B6 availability, silently increasing recovery demands. Symptoms may not be obvious at first and often appear as subtle signs like poor sleep quality, irritability, frequent muscle soreness, or slow adaptation to exercise. Supporting vitamin B6 intake in the evening complements the body's natural repair cycle, ensuring protein metabolism, nervous system balance, and energy restoration work together. When vitamin B6 is no longer a limiting factor, muscles respond more efficiently to training stress, recover more completely overnight, and maintain strength and function with far greater consistency. Vitamin K2 is one of the most misunderstood nutrients in muscle and skeletal health. Yet its role is highly strategic and precise. Rather than increasing calcium levels, vitamin K2 acts as a director, guiding calcium to the exact places where it is needed and keeping it out of areas where it can cause harm. Muscles rely on calcium for contraction, but they also depend on proper calcium distribution to function smoothly. When calcium ends up in soft tissues instead of bones and muscles, performance declines and stiffness increases. Vitamin K2 ensures that calcium is used efficiently, supporting clean, effective muscle contraction without unnecessary tension. At the molecular level, vitamin K2 activates specific proteins, including osteocalcin and matrix GLA protein. Osteocalcin helps bind calcium into bone, while matrix GLA protein prevents calcium from depositing in arteries and soft tissue. This balance is critical for muscle health, because muscles function best when the surrounding tissues remain flexible and well nourished. When calcium regulation fails, muscles may feel tight, rigid, or less responsive, even in individuals who are physically active. Supporting vitamin K2 helps preserve elasticity and fluid movement within the musculoskeletal system. Vitamin K2 works closely with vitamin D, forming a powerful partnership. Vitamin D increases calcium absorption from the digestive tract, but without adequate vitamin K2, that calcium has no clear destination. This can create a scenario where calcium circulates without being properly utilized. Vitamin K2 completes the process by escorting calcium into bones and muscle supporting structures. When taken consistently, especially later in the day, this combination supports nighttime remodeling of bone and muscle tissue, reinforcing strength and structural integrity while the body is at rest. Muscle efficiency also depends on mitochondrial health, and vitamin K2 plays a lesser known role in supporting cellular energy production. Vitamin K2 is involved in electron transport within mitochondria, which are responsible for generating ATP. Improved mitochondrial efficiency means muscles can recover faster and maintain performance with less oxidative stress. This is particularly important for endurance and strength-based activities where repeated contractions place heavy demands on cellular energy systems. Inflammation and oxidative stress interfere with muscle recovery, and vitamin K2 helps modulate these processes indirectly by maintaining vascular health. Healthy blood vessels ensure that oxygen and nutrients are delivered efficiently to muscle tissue while metabolic waste is removed promptly. When calcium buildup stiffens blood vessels, circulation suffers and muscle recovery slows. Vitamin K2 helps maintain vascular flexibility, supporting steady blood flow and improving nutrient delivery during the body's natural repair phase. Dietary intake of vitamin K2 is often low because it is found primarily in fermented foods and certain animal products that are not commonly consumed. As a result, many individuals unknowingly operate with suboptimal levels. Over time, this contributes to inefficient calcium handling, subtle declines in muscle responsiveness, and increased stiffness. Supporting vitamin K2 intake aligns with the body's nighttime maintenance cycle, allowing calcium regulation, cellular energy production, and tissue resilience to work in harmony. When vitamin K2 is present in sufficient amounts, muscles operate with greater precision, flexibility, and long-term durability, reinforcing the foundation for sustained physical performance and recovery. The most critical factor in muscle recovery is not simply what nutrients you take, but whether your body actually needs them and when they are provided. Timing and deficiency determine effectiveness. Muscles follow a biological schedule, and ignoring that schedule is one of the main reasons people fail to see results despite doing many things right. During the day, the body is in a performance and stress adaptation state. At night, it switches into repair, regeneration, and hormone-driven rebuilding. Providing the right nutrients during this window allows the body to use them with far greater efficiency instead of diverting them elsewhere. Deficiency creates a silent bottleneck. When a specific vitamin or mineral is lacking, muscle recovery slows down even if calories, protein, and training volume are adequate. The body always prioritizes survival over performance. If nutrients are limited, they are redirected to essential systems like the brain, heart, and immune function, leaving muscles under-supported. This is why someone can eat well, exercise consistently, and still experience weakness, soreness, or stalled progress. Identifying and correcting deficiencies removes this bottleneck and allows muscle repair processes to operate at full capacity. Nighttime is when growth hormone secretion increases, insulin levels drop, and cellular cleanup processes such as autophagy become more active. Muscles use this period to repair microtears, restore glycogen, rebalance electrolytes, and reset nerve signaling. Providing supportive nutrients in the evening aligns with these processes rather than competing with daytime demands. Instead of being used for immediate energy or stress response, nutrients are directed toward tissue repair, structural reinforcement, and neuromuscular recalibration. Another overlooked aspect is nervous system recovery. Muscles do not exist independently. They respond to signals from the nervous system. If the nervous system remains overstimulated due to stress, poor sleep, or nutrient imbalances, muscles cannot fully relax or rebuild. Proper nutrient timing helps shift the body into a parasympathetic state, reducing excessive nerve firing and allowing muscles to disengage from constant contraction. This is when true recovery occurs, not during movement, but during stillness. Consistency also plays a major role. Muscles respond to repeated signals over time, not one-time interventions. Providing key nutrients nightly reinforces the repair cycle, teaching the body to expect and optimize recovery during sleep. This creates a compounding effect where sleep quality improves, inflammation decreases, and muscle responsiveness increases. Over time, muscles adapt by becoming more efficient at repairing themselves, requiring less effort to maintain strength and resilience. Ignoring timing often leads to nutrient waste. Taking recovery, supporting nutrients at random points during the day may reduce their effectiveness because the body is not prepared to use them for repair. They may be excreted, stored improperly, or diverted to other functions. Aligning intake with the body's internal clock increases absorption efficiency and functional use, especially for muscles that are actively rebuilding overnight. Ultimately, muscle health is not built solely through intensity, but through intelligent recovery. When deficiencies are addressed and timing is respected, muscles gain the resources they need exactly when they need them most. This allows recovery to become deeper, adaptation to become stronger, and performance to improve without increasing strain. Nighttime becomes a strategic advantage rather than a passive period, turning rest into an active contributor to muscle strength, durability, and long-term function. Muscle health is not determined by effort alone. It is shaped by how well the body is supported when it is no longer under load. Many people push harder, train longer, and add more protein, yet they overlook the biological reality that muscles are rebuilt during rest, not activity. The nighttime period is when the body shifts into a highly coordinated repair state guided by hormones, nervous system signals, and nutrient availability. When this window is ignored or undernourished, progress slows quietly, often without obvious warning signs until performance declines or injuries appear. One of the biggest misconceptions is that recovery is passive. In reality, it is an active, energy-dependent process requiring precise coordination between minerals, vitamins, enzymes, and hormones. Growth hormone release increases at night, insulin sensitivity changes, inflammation is regulated, and damaged muscle fibers begin reconstruction. If the raw materials for these processes are missing or poorly timed, the body compensates by slowing repair or prioritizing other systems. This is why recovery feels incomplete for so many people even when sleep duration seems adequate. Another critical factor is the cumulative effect of small deficiencies. Muscle tissue is metabolically expensive to maintain. When nutrients are limited, the body conserves energy by reducing repair quality. This does not happen overnight. It unfolds gradually. Strength plateaus, soreness lingers longer than it should, and flexibility declines. Over time, muscles lose their adaptive capacity, meaning they respond less efficiently to training stimuli. Addressing recovery nutrition is not about short-term gains, but about preserving the muscle's ability to adapt long-term. The nervous system plays a central role in this process. Muscles respond to neural input, and if the nervous system remains in a heightened state of alert, muscles cannot fully disengage. Stress, overstimulation, and poor nutrient support keep the body locked in a readiness state that conflicts with repair. Nighttime should be a transition into parasympathetic dominance, where signals shift from action to restoration. When this transition occurs smoothly, muscles release tension, circulation improves, and repair accelerates. Sleep quality is another layer that cannot be separated from muscle health. Deep sleep stages are when the most significant tissue repair occurs. However, sleep quality is highly sensitive to mineral balance, neurotransmitter activity, and hormonal stability. When these elements are misaligned, sleep becomes fragmented, even if total sleep time appears sufficient. Muscles then miss out on the deepest phases of repair, leading to subtle but persistent recovery deficits. Consistency is what transforms recovery from a concept into a physiological advantage. Muscles adapt to patterns. When the body repeatedly receives the right signals at night, it becomes more efficient at repairing damage, restoring strength, and maintaining flexibility. This efficiency reduces the overall recovery burden, meaning muscles can handle stress with less wear and tear. Over time, this creates resilience, allowing performance to improve without escalating training volume or intensity. Another overlooked element is age-related decline. As the body ages, the efficiency of nutrient absorption, hormone production, and cellular repair naturally decreases. This makes nighttime recovery support even more important. What worked in earlier years may no longer be sufficient. Supporting muscles during sleep helps counteract these changes by reinforcing the body's natural repair mechanisms rather than forcing adaptation through excessive effort. Muscle health is also closely tied to metabolic health. Efficient muscle recovery improves insulin sensitivity, glucose utilization, and overall metabolic flexibility. When muscles repair properly, they become better at storing glycogen and responding to energy demands. This creates a positive feedback loop where improved metabolism supports muscle function and healthy muscle tissue supports metabolic balance. Ignoring recovery often leads to compensatory behaviors such as increasing stimulants, adding more training days, or relying on temporary relief strategies. These approaches may mask symptoms but do not address the underlying issue. True progress comes from aligning effort with recovery, allowing the body to rebuild itself with precision rather than forcing adaptation through stress alone. Ultimately, muscle health reflects how well the body is supported during its most vulnerable and productive hours. Nighttime is not simply an absence of activity, it is a critical phase of biological construction. When recovery is treated with the same respect as training, muscles become stronger, more responsive, and more durable. This approach shifts the focus from constant effort to intelligent support, allowing the body to work with its natural rhythms instead of against them. Over time, this creates sustainable strength, better movement quality, and a level of resilience that cannot be achieved through effort alone.